Good morning. How are you? I wanted to tell you about my dream. But when I woke up this morning, I had my dream, but I also had an idea of making a video on how I read my cards. But then I decided, well, I better do my dream. So I took the keywords and I wrote them down. But then I couldn't find my dice. So I just thought very hard about 3 numbers, and the numbers I chose was 1, 3, 7. And I went to my book. So what I'm going to do is tell you my dream first, then I'm going to tell you what my book says. I have many books that I use. I'm a big believer that God gave us knowledge that we can rely on to help us to deal with our lives. Dreams are visions, and then we have words of wisdom from lots of places. What makes it bad is how you use it. So always use your wisdom wisely and kindly with good intentions. So anyway, what I dreamed about was selling my house, or selling a house. I'm getting ready for a closure on my house. I basically gave it away because the burdens were too great for me. But the selling of the house stands for a sign of loss, and I need to be ready to prepare myself for bad moods. It wasn't a bad decision I made, but it was definitely a loss, and it changes my plans. And then in this room was a living room, and in the living room, the meaning is in the name itself, living. This is where we live. This is how we conduct our life. But that living room was dirty. Okay, let me see. And that dirty room signifies difficulties. Well, already I'm at a loss, and already it is preparing me to get ready for my bad moods and adjust accordingly. But in this room, there were 5 tables. And these tables represent family and communication. So I can think of at least 5 family members that I am concerned with at this time, and I have to make a decision about. And the table is communication. So how to deal with that. And that's on my mind. It's on my mind big time. But if you watch my videos before, you know I can't stand roaches. I hate roaches. And in my dream, the table was like a picnic table. And the roaches were just crawling under and around and about all over this table. And the table is family communication, and it's just infested with roaches. So, what does that mean? Well, that means that I'm having daily stress, and probably the 5 members or 5 things in my family are having daily stress and anxiety, and there is a fear of how we're going to move on. How are things going to be handled? It's just an infestation of difficulties. But I can't remember exactly how the dream ended, but because what I did when I woke up, I didn't run straight to my table and write my dream down. So what I've picked up is segments, but the segments of the dream are very important because they have told me that this dream has to deal with my life, and there are difficulties. I have to make changes. Okay, so let's see if I forgot anything else on my list. It's, you know, in the living room says also, I need to transform my life for the better. And so then I come to my book here. And how this book works is you throw the dice. I couldn't find the dice, so I just concentrated on numbers, and the number I came up with was 137. So I go to, I got it here somewhere. There's a chart right here, and I pick out the number 137. Now, because I picked the numbers from my mind, I skipped a couple of steps. But I even use these numbers without throwing the dice. Because have you ever looked into a tree and you see the outline of the number 137? And I have before, maybe not that number. And then I'll go to my book and say, what did that mean? How do I understand that? So anyway, I go to that chart and I look up the 137, and it tells me, you go to the back of the book, and then I have to go over here to that number of stars. And that star says, it means dazzling. And it says, I'm being guided by a lucky star. I have reached the peak of my achievements. My wisdom will attract many people to me. Well, that sounds good to me. So now, the 137. I go to my first round of the book here, and this is 1, and it is creation. And the daily period is morning. That's the beginning of a new day. And my facility is perception. And I looked up perception, and I wrote it somewhere so I wouldn't forget. And it looks like I forgot. But anyway, not reading, it says, I sense things. I know things. I have an intuition about things. I can hear things. And this is true of me. I do have the perception of what to be. Okay. Then the direction is the east. Every morning the sun rises in the east. It's a new beginning. Then the day of the week is Monday. Monday is the first day of the week, and we're beginning a new week. Now, my animal is beaver. And let's see. I hate it when I write things down, because then my eyes get in the light. But you know, the beaver, he leads things into your destiny. He makes things nice. He keeps things in order. So So I have to deal with what's coming my way, and I have to build, and I have to expect everything's going to evolve as it should. And then the next thing is the paintbrush. And with the paintbrush, I have to plan action for my change. It says, what are you doing right now? What is the thinking that's forcing me to make this change in my life? Do I feel confident knowing that I have to do this? So now I've finished analyzing this part. Now, what is the meaning of this realm of creation? Well, here it says, I'm interested in anything that is a beginning or is going to launch. It says something's taking shape. A plan, a friendship, an important decision. So I would put here important decision, and I have to put this plan of action to go with this decision that I have made. And it says, now is the time to take the incentive to put this in action. And I will be putting myself in a position of creativity and intentionality. And then it says, perhaps for the first time, I'm realizing the invisible laws that govern the universe in the course of my destiny cannot be changed easily. I believe that because as I'm making my decision and I'm preparing for my change of destiny, I am finding obstacles in my way. But it says right here that I can plan for everything evolving the way it should be. And my expectations are going to be exactly what I want. But in conclusion, I have to know the situation is just in the beginning. And I have to let time take its course. Now that took care of one. Now, remember the number is 137. So, I changed my realm. And I go to number 13. And the one indicates I forgot my word. Incentive. And the 3 signifies movement. So when you take the incentive to make a move, then we experience hope. So I have hope. Now the image is hope is in the morning. And it gives you a whole bunch of possibilities and a newfounded hope. But there are problems concerning my health, my love life, or my job. So I don't see those problems. My health is an issue. My eyes are an issue. I want to take a trip to Georgia to see my son and my grandson, so I have to find a driver to take me. I mean, I can make it, but instead of an 8-hour trip, it'll probably turn into a 16-hour trip because of all the things I have to go through to drive safely to my destination. So I do have a feeling of discouragement. But I got to keep the feeling of hope going. You know, it's a new dawn. When you see that radiant glow of sunshine, you know that it's a new beginning, it's a new hope. Which way are you going to go? What are you going to do? So I am advised to go easy at first, taking it slowly and gradually. Just be happy for now. That's the advice it's giving me. And to realize the worst is over. And it is a new period in my life and a new beginning. The only real danger is haste and impatience. Everything will occur in its own good time. Time plays a positive role in this situation. And the considerations I have to take. One morning we suddenly wake up and discover that the night has ended. We know that. But a flower is about to bloom, and it must not be taken for granted. The house of hope is the one of the slowest. Yeah, I feel like I'm on I'm preparing my plan, and it seems like I'm very slow at what I'm doing. I finished my 40 days of grieving over Michael, but I haven't finished my grief, and I am moving very slowly, and I find obstacles getting in my way. So I would hold that statement true, that the house of hope is the slowest. The new phase of beginning in my life will be happy and serene, but I am not supposed to rush it. So my advice, I go here to my advice. My advice is make my plans and put them into action. Be trusting, look ahead, believe that everything will turn all right, and just don't give up. Well, I have my plan of action, and I'm working my plan of action. But sometimes I can't sleep at night, and then I have a hard time doing the chores that I need to do because I know that I have to be sleeping. So then when I do fall asleep, I wake up late, and then I have all these other things to do, and it seems like difficulty. There's roaches on my table. Anyway, so now, remember the number is 137. So now we want to go to the number 137. And the title of this page is Hope. And 137 says, confidence. You have every reason to be confident that you will get what you want. All of the conditions have been filled. Just keep following on the same track. So, that is what I came up with today. And it does give me confidence, even though I have these obstacles coming in my way. And I think I can't get from point A to point B. I can't get there from here. But my dice, my stars say, hope is slow, go easy. It's time for me to start putting in my plan into action. But be patient and don't go with haste, because everything is going to fall in place. And so I did my dream, I did my reading, and I feel good. And I hope you enjoyed my stars and dice. And be sure to like and share and subscribe, and check my essential oils link in my description. Love you. God bless.